Good afternoon and welcome to my home. Coming to you this afternoon from my kitchen. My name is Finley. I'm with the Baldwin Fit Body Bootcamp, and the other day after one of our sessions there was a question that was asked about whether we'd be putting out any festive season recipes that would be nice and healthy, and there was particular mention made of appetizers that could be put out around this time of the year. So I'm going to do a few of these in the next few days, and this is the first one I'm going to start with. It's nice and easy to do. It's an old favorite of mine. It's a bit of a take on a Caprese salad. It's normally a summertime dish. However, I grew up in South Africa and Christmas falls slap bang in the middle of summer there. So it would be a firm favorite for that time of the year. Also, the colors are really festive and really come across exactly like you would for summertime. So you're going to need for yourself, you're going to need some grape tomatoes. You want some mozzarella cheese. I particularly like the mozzarella pearls, because they're easy to work with, because we're going to be putting these onto toothpicks. You want to get yourself some fresh basil. It's obviously not as easy to find. You will get it in the stores at the moment. I typically try to grow my own during the year, but obviously at the moment you're going to have to go into the stores and buy it unless you have some hidden somewhere. We're also going to have some balsamic vinaigrette and a little bit of basil pesto. So the way that we work this, you start it off is you want to separate and clean your basil leaves. I've already done that and patted them dry. You take the nice big ones that you've got and you keep them separate. All the little other small ones that are left, you just want to basically either cut them in half or into thirds, so that they're just a little bit, approximately the same size of what your tomato would be. Okay, then you're going to take your toothpick and you're going to pierce a piece of the mozzarella cheese, push it through the basil, and then grab your tomato, and there you have almost like a mini tree, all those nice colors that go along. So I've already started making some of these here. I'm just going to go and add that to the bunch, and we'll continue on. We'll make a few more. So what we're going to do after we've made all of these, there's a couple of different ways that you can work it. You can either do it where you drizzle the dressing over the top, or you can have it as a dipping sauce. However, the sauce is quite rich, the dressing is quite rich, so I wouldn't suggest that you do that, but it is an option you can do. The other thing you can see, you can see in front of me, I've got this fairly large tray that I'm putting them in, and normally what I would do with something like this is that I would have, for example, these little caprese sticks. And then on the other sections of the tray I would probably put some crudité. So I would have maybe some sliced celery and baby carrots, and then you could put some other kind of dressing in one of these for dipping as well, possibly something like a ranch dressing or something like that. So I'm not going to go crazy on all of that. You go ahead and build up as many as you want, at least you can see how we make it. I'm going to go ahead and make the dressing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a quarter cup of the balsamic vinaigrette. And you see why I won't make this as dipping sauce. It's quite rich. And then the basil pesto, you're basically just putting about half a teaspoon in there. It was a bit of a heaping half a teaspoon. And then this is my favorite little pig whisk I'm going to be using here. Just whisk all the ingredients up together and you'll get all that pesto flavor going through your balsamic vinaigrette. Alright, now before we actually drizzle that over the top, what we want to do is we want to add a little bit of garnish, and that's why I wanted you to keep the very much larger pieces of the basil separately. So what you do with these, let me just move this stuff out the way a wee bit. When you make a nice tight roll, all right, you roll up along the whole length of the basil leaves. And you might be able to see I've already cut little stalks off so that they're not in the mix there. Once you've got it nice and tight, you're just going to do a nice little slice on that, nice and thin. And you've got these nice little curlicues of basil You can just drizzle a little bit over the top here as a bit of a garnish. And then before serving, if you're going somewhere else, take this with you in a separate dish or something like that. And just before serving, just drizzle over the top. And it's just a matter of pulling one out. And eating them. And that is very tasty. So that's one of the ideas you can do. Just a couple of other options you can do. Same as we have in the gym. We always give you alternatives. Instead of doing the balsamic vinaigrette with the basil, you can do olive oil and some kosher salt, or you could do olive oil with the basil. But there's a lot of different things you can do with that. But these are very nice to eat, pretty wholesome, really tasty, and also they look really good. So I'll post some of these. I'll post this recipe along with this, and hopefully you can give it a bash. And it'll be great to have some feedback, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy that. So thank you very much for joining me today.